Donovan, you know more than anybody, this is a marathon, right? So when you think about that, when you think about opening night, like where does opening night fit into this marathon that you have ahead of you?
I mean, this is it's going to be a high intensity game. I mean, obviously you think of the season the longer. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be long nights. There's going to be exciting nights. There's going to be different things throughout the year. But this night right here, um, it's funny. I opened my Cleveland career in Toronto when I first got traded here, and I got to say that place is rocking on opening night. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I know we're excited. We're also excited to just to get the season going. And I think we've done a lot of positive things. We've seen a lot of things we've learned on, but opening night's definitely one of those nights. Obviously in Toronto, and then to come back here on a Friday night in Cleveland, two back-to-back high intensity, the crowd's gonna be into it nights. It's a great way to say welcome back to the business, to the job, and to what you love to do.
What are you looking forward to just showcasing out there with everybody again?
I think with us, the way we've been playing has been phenomenal. I think just continue to move the ball and find a ways defensively, just trying to find ways to continue to build on the success we had last year defensively. But with us, obviously we speak on Evan's emergence. Jalen Tyson's going to get his minutes, and everybody down the line. But obviously we've spoken about those two pretty much at length. I feel like I'm excited for what they got going, and obviously for myself and everybody else, it's what we've been working on all summer. And like I said, it's a marathon. Every night's going to be just a step in the right direction. You want to take those steps through wins and obviously losses, but just for us to continue to build so we're tracking at the right time.
Last year for you guys, you, Darius, Karras were top 3 in usage rate on the team, but you've all talked about getting Evan more involved, getting him more touches. Just how difficult of a process do you feel like that is going to be?
Knowing the group we have, I don't think it's that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be different. I wouldn't say tough. It's going to be different just because, when you used to having the ball and trying to it's not like there's certain things that you'll do which aren't selfish. It's just your habit and what you know. And obviously that's what, you think you saw a lot of that in the preseason. Just getting used to that, And then obviously for Evan, being more aggressive. I'm very, very, on him about sometimes you have a small running with you, don't come set the screen. Run to the paint and demand the basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's also, as much as it's on us to figure out, how to, play out of a handoff or play out of the pin downs out of the corner. It's also on him to go out and demand it and want it. And I feel like he's done a good job of that. But also, with that power comes a great responsibility and all right, it's not just go and put my head down. It's all right, let's make the right play. And, it's going to be different. It's going to be something that's going to take time. I'm going to just tell you everybody now, we're not going to come out and it's going to be figured out against Toronto. It's going to be something that's going to continue to take time. But we have the group that wants to do it, that's willing to do it, and that's what makes it easier.
Does it make you feel like as a player you have to take a step back to kind of give him more of an opportunity?
Yes and no. I feel like, my job's still going to be my job, but also you have to allow room to grow. If you want to continue to be the group we have to be, that's what's going to take. But also in that, you still got to, that's why I say it's different. You still got to be me. You know what I mean? So I think there's a fine line, but also there's also the allowing that grace, allowing that space, you know what I mean, and allowing that growth to take off. And, like I said, you've seen it in the preseason, continuing to build on it. That's all the games we've had that y'all have seen for real. But we've seen it in practice, we've seen it in camp. Now the biggest thing is, can we do it on a consistent basis? On a night where we're tired, on a night where, things aren't going our way, are we going to fall back into our old habits? And some nights we may. Some nights, we just, because it's different, it's new. But for us, I've seen a lot of progress and a lot of positive, and I think we're a group that's really excited to do that and get to it and, take on the challenge, so to speak.
If Dean is the one that gets inserted in that starting spot for Max, what do you think that extra size provides to the rest of the starting lineup?
It definitely helps, obviously with having myself and DG who are, smaller guards, but then also you have a guy who spaces the floor just like Max does. Obviously doesn't move as much as Max, but also allows, from a rebounding standpoint, from taking on a challenge on the wing standpoint, you're able to switch coverages differently. You're able to game plan a little bit differently when you have that size and length. And then obviously a guy who's getting to those corners, sprinting, getting into the actions, handbacks, keeps, who gets to the rim can finish, but also shoot the ball really well. So if it is Dean, we're definitely excited to have him in there. Whoever it is, obviously we trust whoever it is to kind of be in that lineup and get to it.
How do you feel about potentially having someone else starting in that lineup depending on matchups. Like one night it might be Dean, one night it could be Isaac, Harris.
Yeah, you got to be able to adapt. I think that's what, when you come to a playoff series, that's what it's going to be. Some series it may be Isaac, some series it may be Dean, some series maybe Max, maybe whoever. You've seen it at every other team. That's what happens. Come playoff time, and that's what this is. Obviously, we're trying to become the highest seed possible, trying to win as many games as possible, but you're also trying to prep for what you're going to see for the final stretch of the season, and that's no different. That's something that we had to feel like we are used to because we had so many injuries last year. But I think it's something that is definitely going to be important for us.
Last year, you guys only played with the starting lineup for 28 games, and you didn't start with JA last year. Now you're not starting with Max. How difficult is it to be in a situation where you keep having to change your lineups up?
The goal is 29 this year. You know what I'm saying? No, I think obviously yes, it's different. It's a challenge, but at the end of the day, with the group and the depth we have, we're not going to sit here and say, oh, we didn't have. No one else is going to care. It's how do we adapt and how do we continue to move on and move forward. And we have a lot of guys in this group who can help fill that void. Nobody can be Max. We're not asking anybody to go beat Max. We're asking to do it as a collective and figure it out as a group because that's what it's going to take. We did that. We saw that last year. DG and Ev go down, guys step up. I go down, guys step up. And it's not always going to be just like a road to success. There's going to be some chunks or whatever you call it, chips in the armor and stuff like that and different things. But you could even point to look how we ended the season. We ended the season on a rougher note, and y'all were rightfully questioning what was it going to look like in the playoffs, and the playoffs would figure it out. There's going to be different things. There's going to be different challenges, but we have a group that's been together, a group that knows what to do, and we'll adapt for sure.
How much does it help having a core group, Darius, Jared, Evan, and also having these key players that can fit in wherever?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. It also helps when you have a group that's been together, that knows how to. We've been through these moments that you're speaking of, so it's nothing new to us. It's not something that's going to catch us off guard. It's just how do we continue to be consistent as a group throughout.
You mentioned starting your career in Toronto. So
Yeah.
It kind of seems like you reflect on those moments
Yeah.
from time to time. So now starting a new season and playing in Toronto again, how do you feel different going into this game than you did?
That game I was definitely nervous. I'm definitely going to get nervous at some point and anxious, I would say. But that first game, being your first game in a new uniform, a new situation, I think it was definitely something that led to more nerves because you're just and then on top of that, DG gets poked in the eye within the first minute or first quarter, wherever it was. Now you're oof, okay, you're adapting to that. But it was a blur at first. I was tired. I remember that. I was physically exhausted. But it's just something that you appreciate the little things along your journey, and now being at my 8th opening night, it's a calmer presence for sure, but more so when the moment comes, I'll definitely be anxious and excited. But you never forget your first one, and obviously first one here, and yeah.
How much do you think an emphasis on offensive rebounds is going to help this team?
Big time. I think we do a lot of stuff differently. I'm pretty sure y'all saw in the preseason where it's crashing offensive boards instead of getting back. We weren't the greatest at it. We got to get better at it in the preseason. So I think that's something just to work on and to develop. And obviously adding Dean to our lineup definitely will help. You got 3 guys 6'10" and up down there battling. So I think it'll definitely help giving you extra possessions. You can never go wrong when you have extra possessions. And I think that's something that really can open our game and also deny opportunities for other teams to get into fast break opportunities.